Everybody loves the dollar store, right? At least here in the States. I think those of you across the pond don't have Dollar Tree. Anyway, let's show the goods. That's right. We're going to do full snow terrain thing. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. I was inspired to pick this up at the Dollar Tree from Eric's Hobby Workshop. He did a whole thing that I'm not going to attempt because I don't have as much time on my hands as he does. But I'm going to show you like a really stripped down and simple version. Not to say that his version is bad. By all means, do his version if you've got the time and everything. But this is like the easy mode. Yeah, I got way too much of this faux snow. I have a lifetime supply. I don't even have like a Space Wolves army. What am I doing? I'm probably only going to need one of these bags. Are they all the same? Yeah, okay. Let's get these out of here. Let's break this open and see what we're working with. All right, we got these little guys. Now in Eric's video, he actually shows how he makes these, and that's great. However, this time of year, these are a dime a dozen. I'm gonna probably remove these wooden bases. They don't really need those, and this will just get stuck into some foam. And in hindsight, this guy is huge by comparison, but you know, we can't all be winners. But for now, we're going to start with our base. This is what we're working with. This is a wooden disc. It's 7.5 inches across, which is roughly the size of an objective marker. A while back on the channel, I made this, which is a custom objective marker. In fact, I've got a whole set that I'm working on. It's a video. I'll get it done one day. Terrain's on my back burner right now. But yeah, this is a like power generator, Blood Angels themed and everything, totally custom, and can function as a objective marker in actual games to the 40K. So we don't have a lot of real estate to work with. So I've got a couple of chunks of foam here. They're a little dusty. They've been in the garage for a while. These are leftovers from a previous project. And I obviously don't want to use both. This one right here can definitely, right, like that, and we get plenty of space to work with. You know what we're going to have to do, guys? We're just going to have to make 2 of them. I think I did this in a previous video, right? I literally just came up with that idea. I was not planning that from the beginning, unlike the Titus video, where I was actually planning that from the very beginning. And you know what? Let's make a 3rd, because I've got this thing. This is a sandcastle project I was working on a while back. And it looks like it could fit the snowy vibe we've got going on here. And I just like this. You know, it reminds me kind of like Game of Thrones, the North, but not Game of Thrones or whatever. I like the big cracks. This is a piece of foam that I found was like a huge sheet that had blown out into the street from a construction site and got run over by somebody's car. So yeah, lots of big cracks in there. I don't mind these edges. There's nothing that's too flat and clean. It's maybe try to paint it like an iceberg, I think is what we're going to go for. Because that's kind of what that reminds me of. So let's do this one at a time. I'll show you how it works, and then I'll replicate the process. You don't need to see like every little detail. We'll do that whole thing they do on cooking shows, you know what I mean? So one thing you need to know about working with foam: super glue, spray paint, anything that's kind of made of chemicals. I mean, everything's made of chemicals. Even you are made of chemical. But it melts this stuff. So we have to use something not so harsh. Only because it's convenient, because I can squirt it out of a bottle. I'm going to use this tacky glue to get this on here. I have some Elmer's glue in a big tub that I'll actually put down on the rest of the base here in a little bit. This isn't rocket surgery, guys. That's all you got to do, and then plop it down. You can tell I was in the mood for a low effort video, but I promise you, the amount of effort I put in, you'll be able to put in half the effort and it will probably look better by the end. There's a couple stray little things here we'll pull off of that. Otherwise, kind of happy with this the way it is. But now we've got to coat the whole thing in glue. And yes, I do mean the whole thing, because when we prime this and spray it, we do not want this to melt. I recommend you go grab yourself a giant tub of Elmer's school glue. It works great for all of these applications. We're just going to put a healthy amount on here. Ooh, there we go. Hide your mothers. All right, and the big thing here is we want to make sure that we are covering every surface in glue. We'll probably come back and do a light second coat before this is done even. And yeah, this is a brush that I do not use for miniature painting. Yeah. Now at this point you might be thinking, oh yeah, now this is when you put down the faux snow, right? Well, I mean, I could, but honestly, at this point, there's a variety of things that you could do. Number one, you could actually leave this glue here, and as it dries, it will create kind of a wavy yet relatively flat texture, which for snow isn't terrible. That texture we can kind of build up in some layers with dried glue. It takes a while, but it works just fine. However, we can also put some basing materials on here in some patches. We might not want it to be snow everywhere, so we can add a little bit of gravel, we can add some rocks, a variety of things. So let me show you what I mean. So the first step is to get yourself a caffeine addiction and then just scoop a little bit here. We want to have control and just place it in a few areas. Less is more here, so something like that will be just fine. And we've got a little bit of texture now. Next, my favorite, this is decorative broken glass. Do not go out and break your own glass. I got this at the Dollar Tree a while ago. It comes in little bags. This stuff is not sharp. You could literally just grab this and squeeze this in your hand. It pokes you, but it's not sharp. These make great rocks, and so we're going to add these in a few places as well. And now for this stuff. Don't get too excited. It's just some glue in here with some hot water, and we are going to spray this down over the top to set the sand, because in a few places there, we probably put on some excess. So instead of making a bigger mess and having to tamp it off, we just spray this on there, and that will dry. Obviously, the water will evaporate, and it'll be glued in place. So, yeah, keep a bottle of this stuff handy. I don't like to make a big bottle. I also got this bottle at the Dollar Tree. This one's going to go onto the drying rack. Probably is a little faster to hold it while you brush it down with the glue, now that I realize, because I hadn't let the glue set underneath it. So round 2 here is going to go a little bit faster. And you'll notice here I'm staying away from the very center of the objective marker, if at all possible. This one's cutting it really close right there. The idea is that center 2 inches is the actual objective. And as far as I understand in the rules, you just can't have anything on top of the objective. I think the objective can be on top of something else, but not the other way around. I mean, when was the last time you read the rule book? I've also got some of this cork here that I'm going to fit in on one spot there, just so we have something a little bit bigger to kind of balance it out. All right, and we've got that one set off to the drying. All right, we've got our little castle guy that's going to go down on here. You know what? We're going to go with what I said and say that the objective can be on top of stuff. That's the rule, right? Nobody contradict me. And for this guy, I've got some of these. These are like counting blocks or whatever. That way we can make it look like, some blocks fell off this thing. And to the drying rack. Whoa, he's sloshing around there. We're going to try something here. Got a whole bunch of glue. Well, that's actually pretty interesting, the pattern that makes. Okay, these two are going to be a surprise, though. No peeking. Next time you see all these, they're going to be primed. All right, we have progress. As you can see, we did a 2-stage prime. Did this kind of like seaside blue first, and then came over with white from the top. I wanted these big chunky things to look like glaciers. I also like how we get that kind of blue underneath. Makes it look more icy. Did the same thing for this guy, mainly so we could get that on the terrain. The castle will take care of. Lots of painting ahead of me. And just a little bit of dry brushing can really sell the glacier effect. That foam has lots of nice little edges. That was really no effort at all. You can see this is what it was like before that, right? It makes a big difference. I am all for techniques that are like really simple, but then have a big payoff in the end. I have wasted way too much time doing stuff that I thought was going to work, and then it got way too complicated. I don't have time for that anymore. This is always the stage where I regret putting so many rocks on the terrain. As you can see, I am not being particularly sparing. I'm being a little sloppy. That's okay. I've got a secret weapon that we'll get to here in a minute. That means I can get through this pretty fast without wasting a whole bunch of time on unnecessary detail or trying to be too precise. And if you're anything like me, you probably have a giant gray pile of potential, and so you're probably better off painting that. But when you get the odd urge to paint some terrain, you know that you can do it quick. Now that we got the rocks done, we're going to do some grass here on these areas where I've used that sand. I'm going to be using these colors and we'll just see how it goes. We don't want it to look like it's spring or anything. We just want to show a little bit of vegetation showing through the snow. So there's the brown and now the olive and the wild green. Next, we're coming in with a white dry brush on the rocks to get all those edges and then also to catch any spots where we kind of overdid it with the grass. And so it'll look something kind of like that by the time we're done with that stage. Okay, we hit the castle pretty heavy too. It's probably gonna get a wash to bring it down a little bit or make it a little bit darker. But overall, it's not bad for like literally 2 minutes. All right, now at this stage, you could stop here. This is totally fine. This would absolutely work. But we still have our faux snow, and I did promise a secret weapon for some of those sloppy spots, and I already mentioned it, but this is it. All right, we've transferred to another container because I was totally afraid one of those bags was going to explode. This stuff has a place. It definitely does. I know it's like not typically used for snow in wargaming, but we just have to be careful not to overdo it. So let's give it a shot. All right, we've got our glue spray here ready to go again. We're gonna start right here in this corner. We're gonna spray this area. In fact, it doesn't matter if we overspray. It'll just kind of help seal things in. Use a brush to move it around a little bit. Okay, so far, not too bad. So one really cool thing we can do with the spray glue is to spray it on the surface and then let it drip. You'll notice around those edges down there by that rock where we got some excess paint. If we try to brush it on, we're gonna get paint on the rock and then we're gonna get snow on the rock. Instead, we let the glue drip and then it only gets around the rock and then snow only goes around the rock. So we spray and then we just kind of play. It's like that, it's like one of those marble games. Marble, enunciation. All right, after all that, we're left with this. I really do think that the faux snow works fine. It's when it's under a very harsh light. I've got these lamps here. It's maybe a little goofy looking, but when it's not under that direct harsh light, it looks a little bit softer and the iridescent pieces they don't stand out so much. So I think it's gonna work just fine. Now we gotta get some trees on there. I did promise that. Now, the way I figured out how to do these is actually to cut all the way up to where the branches start. So we'll just snip that whole part off. And then when we place our super glue, we can place it a little bit in that whole area and we're not just sticking a single piece of metal down. If I had thought ahead of time, I would have probably created some foam that I could just, stuck that into. But obviously I'm not gonna do that here with these massive glaciers. I'm not gonna do that with this rock either. That'd look a little weird. So yeah, we're just gonna find a nice little spot for a couple of trees on this one. Yeah, that really makes for a nice capstone on this piece. I like it. And one thing that does help is to kind of pinch the needles down a little bit so that they kind of have better contact with the surface. And while y'all weren't looking, I made 2 more. So we actually have a full set of 5. We've got this kind of bridge one and this one with sort of the tower piece. Meant this one to be a little bit more open. It's a full set of 5 objective markers. Here they all are together on the table for you to see. If you think these are cool, I have an idea to do an entire table of terrain in this style. If you'd like to see me do that, leave a like. This video gets 100 likes, shall we say. I'll go ahead and do that. We'll do an entire table of icy castle terrain. I might even build a giant castle at the middle of the whole thing. It'll be a full Warhammer table in this same style. If you'd like to support the channel, go ahead and check out the link to my book on Amazon in the description below. It's like Halo meets Aliens meets The Walking Dead, minus all the drama. Helps out, supports the channel. I appreciate it. Again, if you want to see an entire table in this terrain style, who knows? I might even give it away to somebody. 100 likes on the video, so share it with somebody you think might enjoy it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace. Check out the videos that are here, this one and this one. Before you go, check those out.